What's good? Brian Tong here, and hey, I just got back from a 2-week vacation in Italy and Greece, and it was beautiful. It was so amazing, my first time out there. But look, the day I got back, Apple decided to drop the iOS 18 public beta, which now means that we can all dig into this. They wanted to put me right back to work, and I will always warn you, this is a beta. I do not recommend you put it on your main daily driver phone ever, but a lot of you will ignore me anyways. So look, I did my disclaimer. Let's jump into the features here that matter, that really matter with iOS 18 on the public beta. And the first one that you're going to play around with, it doesn't really matter to me as much because, I'm just basic when it comes to the home screen. But I know a lot of you have wanted this, and that's customizing your iPhone's home screen in iOS. Now, customization like this has been around on Android forever. Even go back to when people would jailbreak their phones, but it's here now in iOS 18. You can move your app icons around in any place now. Think about this. Back in iOS 18, if I wanted to move an app to this corner and keep it there, it wouldn't let me. It would just snap back at the end of all the apps that I had on screen. So now in iOS 18, you can place your apps anywhere you want on screen. It's finally here. It's better, but let's not actually be blown away by this. But hey, customizing the actual app icons is something you couldn't do before. So look, all you have to do is do a long press on the home screen, and then on the top corner, you'll see Edit. You already know how to add widgets from iOS 17, so we're gonna ignore that and hit Customize. Then you'll see a bar at the bottom, which appears for you to play around with. You can make app icons larger in size without the text underneath them, which is nicer, especially on a bigger phone display like a Pro Max. You can switch between the light or the dark versions of the app icons to give it a different energy, or you can even pick the automatic options to have them change automatically depending on the time of day, day or night. Now you can choose the tinted option here on the right to change the color of all your apps, and this can be fun if you want to play around with the color and the lightness to match with some cool wallpaper combinations. You can play around here, but you can also use the color picker just right above it so you can match a color from the wallpaper you're using to then coordinate with the app icons. That's pretty slick. Or if you scroll all the way to the right for white, you take that bar, push it to the white, you could go with this monochromatic look with a monochrome background. That's just, if you want to be slick like that. And there's a lot you can do to make this just feel like your own. But even after all this, I still go, I look it up right now. I just go to the default light icons. I go regular size, and I pack as many useful ones that I need on my first page as much as possible. So like I said, this doesn't matter to me as much as it matters to a lot of other people, but I'm taking myself out of the equation because customization like this still matters. All it took was iOS 18 to finally let people customize the appearance of their apps. Okay, the customization that I like more, this has got to be in Control Center. That's where things get more interesting to me, where you can really create a custom layout. You get more options that will be available when third-party apps add their functionality, but I can hold down in the empty area or just hit the plus button in the top left corner here in Control Center, and it gives me an option on the bottom to add a control. And you can see here, I'm just gonna keep scrolling and scrolling. There's a whole lot to pick from. There will be more when other apps add functionality. I'm going to add voice memo here. I do a lot of recording when I do interviews, and I can even drag and change the size of the space that it occupies. So let's just record a voice memo really quickly so I can test out another feature that finally comes to iOS 18 that matters to me as a content creator, voice memo transcriptions. And when I play it back, the voice transcription looks pretty good. Okay, now back to Control Center, let's get focused here. And the core utilities, they expand when I tap on it. So that's gonna happen also the same with the media player. You also have on the right side, there are different pages between your Control Center favorites, the media player control, smart home features, and the utilities. Now some little nuggets here, there's a power button at the top right hand corner that's really small, but it's convenient. You can just press that from Control Center directly. And when you turn on the flashlight, you get this interactive widget that allows you to change not only the brightness, but also how hard the light focuses versus covering a broader area or a more focused area just directly from that visual representation. That's a really fun one. Now, if you want to talk even more customization, let's look at your lock screen. You'll have some options, again, to change between a light or dark mode of the wallpaper, or just be automatic with something like this Apple customized wallpaper. Now, if it's a photo that you own, you can still swipe through different style options for you to choose and tweak from, whatever you like. Just swipe around and play with it. But you can also customize the two control icons on the bottom left and right and make them whatever you want. You can remove what's there by default, pick another one. So there's a lot to do on the lock screen as well. And customization, yes, is finally here on iOS 18. And it matters if you're an iPhone user that has sadly never really experienced anything like this before on a phone. And that's honestly a lot of people. All right, more features that matter to come, but hey, let's take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video, Life-In. So I've been using the Life-In Wave toothbrush for about 3 months now, and you can probably guess I'm still using it, and I can tell you that my teeth, they keep feeling super clean and super smooth as well. I mean, look, they look pretty good. I think they look pretty good, but I've had others before, but I've stuck with Life-In. This electric toothbrush has a minimalist Apple-esque design with innovative tech inside. I use it at home, but I also take it with me on the road because it's more compact. The body is a sleek, single-piece design with no grips and a pressure-sensitive button to turn it on and off. Now, down on the bottom is a magnetic fast-charging connection with its own Apple-esque looking cable. It comes in 3 colors, the ABS white finish that I use, then you got the aluminum alloy finish that has that brushed metal style, and if you want to get fancy, there's the stainless steel finish that, looks really nice. Now you'll get 3 brush heads, just pick the one that's best suited for your teeth and gum sensitivity. Plus, you can get additional ones online as replacements. The Life-In Wave has both a 60-degree oscillation, which is the motion you see moving back and forth while also vibrating at the same time. Now this 60-degree oscillation is also the dentist recommended bass brushing technique, and it helps to brush a wider area. If you want to see the vibration frequency here, the Life-In Wave creates a little ripple wave effect that's more dramatic than other toothbrushes, and the combination of this oscillation and vibration together gives you 3 times the cleaning efficiency. This is a tech product, so yeah, you know there's going to be an app that allows you to customize the experience as well. But right now, there is a Prime Day deal for up to 20% off all 3 styles of the Life-In Wave. So check out the links in the description to take advantage of them. All right, let's get back to the iOS 18 features, and privacy always matters to Apple, and it's not a good thing, but I absolutely think it's a great thing. It has distinguished them from other companies, but I guess these next few features might be trying to hide things from others or protect your privacy, so I'll let you decide. It might depend on what profession you're in, but if you want to lock an app to make sure that you're the only one that can access it, you can. Just do a long press on the app and choose Require Face ID, and from now on, it will require your face or a password to unlock the app. Now, another thing you can do if you want to hide an app, you're gonna have to go back to that same option, hold long press, and then you can require the Face ID option, but this time select Hide and Require Face ID. It will not appear on your home screen anymore, but all the way at the end in a section of the app library called Hidden, and then when you press on that, it will use Face ID to give access to the apps inside of it. Then you'll need to unlock the specific app in there with Face ID as well. So depending on what you do, or maybe your relationship status, this can be a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, is it a good thing for relationships? I don't know. I'm gonna let you tell me in the comments, what do you think about this? Good? Shady? I'm just delivering the information, but I think these are features that absolutely matter. Now, the biggest change that might matter most because, it's a little frustrating for me. At first, it has been. It still kind of is, but this is the all-new organization of the Photos app. And if I'm being honest, I'm still not used to it, and I prefer the previous layout. I like just having my collection front and center, jump to the Photos app, start scrolling and using the navigation bar in iOS 17 to get the different features. Now, in iOS 18, when you launch the app, it features part of your photo gallery up top, but then bottom half, you have the different sections below, like your memories, trips, and shared albums, which means now that I have to make an extra swipe from top to bottom to get to my entire photo collection and then use it like I expect to. But when you launch the app, even when I'm in that half screen mode, you can swipe left or right on the photo gallery to get to other sections, which are also still below. There is no nav bar anymore, and for me, I don't prefer this new layout for the app. It's not, maybe it's because I'm so used to it, but I just feel like, I didn't get used to it, and it requires an extra swipe just to get to what I normally do, and that's annoying. So I bring this up because this may or may not matter to you, but I think it's going to matter to people. Maybe some people actually like it more, but this feels less efficient to me, and that matters. Now, this is still the public beta, and all of the Apple Intelligence features that you're all hoping to see, they haven't made it into iOS 18 yet. I mean, there are reports that we may not see everything that Apple showed us at WWDC 24, possibly until even 2025. Messages, it gets a lot of new bells and whistles, but I'm not going to use them as much as I thought, maybe just yet. Tapbacks, we get new refreshed responses visually, and you can now access all of your emojis and even the stickers you've made as tapbacks. Like, I'm still doing the basic ones, but they just have more color pops now, so I guess that's cool. Scheduling text, though, that will definitely be used by me. Just hit the plus sign on the left and it comes up as an option. You got to scroll down to that second half, but I want it to be one of my first options, so I can just hold on to it and drag it up to the first page of options that shows up. Then I can set a day, I can set a time to send a message out to friends and family so I don't forget about things. And yes, this has been around in messaging apps for a while, but iOS 18 gets it now. Also, RCS messaging support, it's coming, which makes messages compatible with the messaging standard that's on other phone platforms. Apple's finally supporting it. That makes the group chat a whole lot better, finally. You also get things like file transfers, typing notifications, higher quality photos and videos, read receipts, and more. But you can enable RCS in the settings of iOS 18 right now by going to Settings, then Apps, then Messages, and there should be a toggle for RCS messaging in there if your carrier supports it. Another messages feature, text effects. It's fun if you want some playful animations in your text messages. You can hit the text cursor to access them, or highlight any text and then tap on it and choose those text effects. You can see there are different options here. They are very bouncy, but I found it to be too much trouble to have to animate things and go into it, and it was just more work than it was worth it for me, so it isn't for me yet. I don't know, on the daily, I just didn't see myself using it that much, but I can see people that will. And then if you're wondering where all the generative Apple Intelligence stuff is, like I said, you look, Genmojis, the image creation, the new generative AI writing tools, it's not here in the public beta yet. You know, there's other features like the ability to download trails, walking trail or hiking trails in the Maps app, and you can have them with you even if you end up having no cell signal on that hike. This is nice. I like hikes. I wanted to show this to you in action. But when it comes to what really matters in iOS 18, it's all the intelligent stuff, but currently not in the public beta. It is public. So there's some really interesting stuff also if you want to check out in the accessibility area of the settings. iOS 18 supports eye tracking. So go to Settings, Accessibility, then eye tracking, and turn it on. Then you'll go through an eye tracking calibration test just to see how it can be useful for accessibility users, but also cool as a tech demo to see how this can be useful today and in the future. Now, when you press any of the physical buttons on the sides of the iPhone in iOS 18, you'll be able to see like the subtle animation that indents on the black edge, kind of like an animation that represents where you're pressing. If you didn't notice that already, it's there now. But again, this is a beta, and there are a few things that you can use right now, but it's nothing close to the final version of iOS 18 that Apple showed us at DubDub. And that's why I'm going to continue to say, again, use this at your own risk. I always say this about any beta. This is always what I advise. Do not put a beta on your main phone, but if you do, good luck to you. If some of your apps don't work the same, or maybe performance is not as good, do that. That's at your own risk. So I told you twice now, so my work is done. All right. That's going to do it for this video, and those are the features that matter the most that are currently in the iOS 18 public beta. But, you know, being the OS they showcased at DubDub, that's what we're hoping to see eventually. Now, if you like what you see, hey, give me that thumbs up, subs up, and hit that notification bell, ding, to get all my latest videos when they drop. And if you want more of that Apple goodness, you can check out my weekly Apple Bits XL audio podcast with the latest stories and special guests. Plus, you can support all my content with an ad-free version of the podcast, early access to my content, and exclusive content at patreon.com/Brian Tong. So thanks so much for watching. Take care. I am back. We are back. Plenty more to do. Plenty more to catch up with. But hey, we'll see you all in the next video, all right? Peace and love.